Hello, sixth graders. I hope that your day has been going well so far. Today we are going to start with Chapter 4, and a lot of Chapter 4 is just a review of what you guys have done in 5th grade. So, for Chapter 4.1, we don't have any vocabulary words, but something to remember and something to write down is that the sum is the answer to a multiplication, not a multiplication, addition problem. And difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. Okay, let's move on. So the first thing for 4.1 is we are adding and subtracting multi-digit decimals. So the goal for this chapter is that by the end of it, we can divide fractions. I didn't change that. That should be changed on your paper. The goal is that we can add and subtract multi-digit decimals with or without a model. Okay, let's start with our place value chart. Okay, I'm going to put a random number in here. 4, 1, 9, 7, 8, 3, 2. So, something to remember is when we look at our numbers that are on the left side of the decimal, those are our normal ones. So we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands. Those are normal. On the right side of the decimal, all of them end in THS to remind us that they are on the right side of the decimal. So we have the tenths, we have the hundredths, we have the thousandths, okay? And make sure that you notice that you don't have a oneths. A oneths doesn't exist, okay? We just have tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Awesome. Okay, when we add and subtract decimals, we need to stack the decimals and line up our place values. Okay, so this is how I do it, and this is how I am teaching it. When you do it, I like to put in my decimal, and then I look on the right side of my number, and I say, what's on the right side of my number? Well, 18. Okay, I'm going to put each number in its own box. Okay? Same thing with what's on the left side of my decimal. I need to put each number in its own box. Then I go down and I stack up that decimal point right there. Okay? I need to put 22 because that's on the left, and then 74 on the right of my decimal. And we're adding. And I would love it if you could make this line a little bit bolder so that we know that it's a addition problem, right? We're adding, which is how we got the bottom number. That is why the line is there. It symbolizes that we have done an operation and now we have our answer. Okay, 7 plus 4 is 11. Put the ones place here. And then you need to carry the 1 to your tens place. Remember that we're going down in the columns, okay? 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 can go down here. Our decimal needs to drop down, okay? 8 plus 2 is 10. And 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So the answer that we should get is 40.91. Okay. Now let's look at our other one. We are going to put our decimal in, I would put it in probably right here because I need to be able to fit 3 numbers to the right of my decimal. So I'm going to put 1, 9, 5 here, my 0 on the other side. I'm going to stack up my decimal so that I'm lining up my place values. Okay, we're going to put 1 on the left side and 0, 6 on the right side. Making my line a little bit bolder so that I know what's happening. I have a plus sign right there. I have an empty box here. Well, what goes in that empty box? What is a placeholder that doesn't change the value of a number? Well, 0. Let's put 0 in there. 5 plus 0 is just plain old 5. 9 plus 6 is 15. I'm going to carry that 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Make sure I drop that decimal point right there. And then 1 plus 0 is 1. So our answer is 1.255. Very important. Awesome sauce. Okay, when we subtract, we need to remember that borrowing is a thing. Borrowing is just regrouping a number. So I'm going to call this regrouping. Okay. Regrouping is taking... Let me make that better. I'm sorry. Taking 10 from a higher place value and adding it to a lower place value. That'll make more sense when we go over this problem. So I'm going to look at my problem. I need to fit 3 numbers on the right side of my decimal. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. My decimal can go here. Okay. On the right side of my decimal, I have 2. 1, 2. On the left side, I have 2. I'm going to stack up. Oof, I'm sorry, guys. I am going to move this down 1 row. That's why I added the extra row in here. Okay, and then I'm going to add my 1 point. Got to stack up my decimal. 304. Okay, make this line bold again. Bold, bold, bold. Awesome sauce. We're not adding. Oof, we're subtracting. Okay. 2 minus 4. Well, I can't take away 4 from 2. I don't have enough. So, as my elementary teacher said, I need to go knocking on the door of the place value right next to me and say, hey, do you have any 10s that I can borrow? And the one says, of course I have 10s that you can borrow. But I lose them. So, what's 1 minus 0? Sorry, 1 minus 1 is 0. And the 2 becomes a 12 because we added 10 to 12. Okay, 12 minus 4 is 8. Then we go to our other side. Remember, our 1 got crossed out, so 0 minus 0 is 0. I have to do the same thing with my 2 minus 3 because I don't have enough to take away 3 from 2. So I'm going to go over the decimal to my 2 over here and say, hey, 2, do you have any 10s I could borrow? The 2 says, of course I have 10s you can borrow. But I become a 1. And you, if you add 10 to 12, add 10 to 2, you become a 12. Okay, 12 minus 3 is 9. Bring down my decimal. 1 minus 1 is 0. So our answer is 0.90. 0.08. Very important. Okay. I want you to pause the video, or actually not pause the video. I'm going to put these questions in Google Classroom. Once you do the questions, put your answers in Google Classroom so I can see what you did and give you credit for the notes. If you have any questions, come to me. When you're done with this, there will be an assignment about adding and subtracting multi-digit decimals. Awesome. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.